This is BMW Z4 SDrive35i. Yeah, pretty good name, right? And it's one of the best cars that I ever Not for the reason it's the most useful car, nah, but about fun and ergonomics, yeah. And this is really fun car. If you're thinking to buy one, this is the perfect video to watch. But there is E85 and E89. E85 is legendary car, and it's pretty awesome. A lot of people really loving them. But I found for myself that E85 doesn't have enough power. I test drive it, and initially I was thinking to buy the E85. The N54 powered Z4 is so much more because of that turbo whistle, not because of that, but because of those 50 extra horsepowers. But because of those 50 extra horsepowers. And you know, that convertible top, it just adding to this car so much more. Also, the way car looks without the top is so awesome. I mean, none of the 3 Series, I'm talking the E93, looks the way the Z4 looks. After all, none of the BMW looks as the Z4. And that ugly long hood is so cool. I love the way the BMW did what they did. And the way they build this body, the engineers makes a great job in terms of interior and exterior. After 5 months of daily driving the Z4 E89, I figured I want to make a review. I never make a review before the car review. I've been trying, but it's never been successful, and I never post the video. This one, on the other perspective, it just wanted to make me talk about it. And it's like a lot of cool features about this car. This is ridiculous how much such a small car can give you in terms of having 2 seats compared to 4 seats. You think this is a disadvantage? I think this is the huge advantage, because even, listen, when the last time that you had more than 2 people in the car? I'm talking about if you're adult, not married, or don't have kids. And from other perspective, how many times a passenger was playing with the air vents, had dirty shoes, and on top of that, not that many people appreciate the nice ride. You know, I purchased this car for only $12,000, and in some case, this is one of the cheapest Z4 E89 with N54 on the market. Compare if you wanted to buy one, yeah, that's a little ugly price. $18,000 would be a great deal if I would be looking at this point, but initially, this car had, like I said, few issues. And one of those issues are turbos. Another few downsides, that's the roof. We had little rattle. I fixed the rattle, and by the way, the roof was stuck open some times ago whenever I was repainting the liner. And all of those videos gonna be in the future about all type of repairs and pretty much everything that I done to the car to make it looks really nice. And basically it looks excellent except a couple buttons. This is another issue of BMWs, and especially the older one. That luxurious paint that they put all over the trim fail after 10 years, and not only those pieces. Initially I purchased this car to sell it. Since I found this one for $12,000, and this is the great price. I would say even more. This is one of the cheapest E89 with N54 on the market. If you're gonna take a look on a marketplace or car guru, whatever, any website that is selling the cars, you're not gonna find this car less than 20,000. You're gonna be lucky enough if you're gonna get one for 18 grand. That's what I particularly wanted to get out of this car, since it does have a little bit more miles than competitors. 118,000 miles, and it's still really good mileage for the N54. N54 overall, it's a great engine in terms of reliability, but not in terms of maintenance. Turbos, water pump, electric water pump, a lot of things that if you wanted to keep that engine intact or running as it should, you gotta invest some money in terms of maintenance. The first thing what I really love about this car is the interior. Despite the fact that we only have 2 seats and not that much space in terms of where we put our luggage, which is we're gonna talk about it in a second, this car still have a lot to offer. But E89 definitely stand out from the crowd in terms of the dashboard. It's pretty aggressive. It has a lot of lines that apparently the body itself have a lot of body lines. Even the cap right here have 2 strips at the top, which is they reminding of the hood or the aiming for straight shot. Then we have nice transition from the top to the central portion with really nice stitching right here. Then rounded piece of aluminum in combination with the AC control, with the sharp edges on the vents, with few buttons. They reminds the buttons from the E90s or 5 Series or any other BMW, but all of those pieces was redesigned the way it suits this car the best. Even that sharp edge on that wheel right here, which is adjusting the AC cooler or warmer air. And on the top of that, we have 3 sections right here, which is they expose really nice. The transition is pretty aggressive, but it looks amazing, especially if you have different tone or different color like interior. For example, this one coral red, and that's where we have that beautiful and sharp transition. For example, the steering wheel is not much different than in N20. It's got round, beautiful airbag that is actually sitting here like it's supposed to. First thing when whenever I buy BMW, I'm trying to get that sports steering wheel. I'm so annoyed whenever we have the cheapest one or the basic steering wheel. It's ugly, and I understand why people are replacing it for all kind of aftermarket steering wheels. That's the only thing that I can say. It's a multifunction steering wheel, which is we have a whole bunch of buttons that is upright, that not advanced stereo system, but from other perspective, we don't have the iDrive here. And honestly, I like it. First of all, about the iDrive is outdated already. And I love the way it sits in that middle compartment. I still prefer to have that middle compartment versus the outdated iDrive. But if you want to get one, just get the Chinese one with the Android 10. It looks beautiful. The most advanced thing here, or the best things that I found out for myself, it's a glove box, elbow rest. Oh my gosh, BMW, why you didn't do something similar inside of the 3 Series? I guess I'm wrong, because the M3 have that retractable glove box or the elbow rest, which works perfectly nice. It does work. And the Z4 elbow rest, it does work, because you can lay your elbow on that spot, which was meant to do that. Every single owner of the E90, 92, 93 know that if you don't have retractable elbow rest or the glove box, it's just useless, because you have to sit something like that. You never been able to hold that beautiful stick shift. Even if it's automatic, I still love to hold in it. It makes you cool, you know? Yeah, let's change the gear. Oops, I put the car in neutral. I totally forgot to mention one major thing about coffee drinker. If you love coffee, prepare yourself and make sure that your car includes the cup holder, which is basically sticks right here. Okay, mine is missing, right? And I love coffee. That's the main purpose of driving this car, is just get the coffee, relax and have fun. But despite the fact I love the coffee, I don't love to drive this car with the coffee. First of all, I'm missing the cup holder, which is cost from 80 to 120 bucks. That's one thing. The second thing, that the other two spots for the drinks, it's inside of the glove box, which is not that useful, because if you wanted to relax or just drink coffee randomly, it's not that comfortable to even store the cup in there and got your elbow in basically under the lid on a rough surface. That's a huge downside. Keep going with the central console. In E85, we don't have option in terms of the suspension settings. This car is spectacular in terms of suspension. Sport versus normal. Normal is kind of mellow. It's still stiff. It's still doing what it offers. But whenever you press that button into the Sport or the Sport Plus, which is, they both are exactly the same. The Sport Plus have ability of turning off the traction, and also it allows you to launch the car. Yes, this is one of not a lot of BMWs, basically the standard BMWs, that comes with the launch control, and this car can handle that. So after we getting into the sport mode, the electric powered steering wheel gets stiffer, probably like twice stiffer. Then the suspension getting stiffer as well. It's still comfortable. I thought it's gonna be more, but that's for the reason this car have oversized wheels. Actually, rims are the same, but the tires are much higher. And I thought that the actual suspension gonna be much stiffer than what we have right now. Is that highway? Yeah, this is way you have to handle that. So the highway driving is really awesome, because you wanted to drive this car fast, and maybe in the future I'm gonna get this car on the track. We just do the track day. I'm not confident about it, since I wanted to sell this car. Initially, I was buying this car to sell it. In terms of suspension, there's only one flaw in original setup. Whenever you get in the E89 with the sport package, which comes with different rims and run flat, of course, you get in real problem with suspension. It's so stiff and it's so bad that the car starts jumping on any bump that you're going through. What people do, and what the particular car is actually been done to, it's oversized tires. They flap the regular tires on those wheels, and the ride is become much more comfortable, softer, better in every single way. I want to mention a couple more things in terms of the interior and how they impact or how they feel in terms of corners or driving and twists, and those seats, they're not sport seat. Overall, this car handles much better than the M3 that I own, the E93 M3. Of course, the E93 is not the best cars for handling because of the weight. It actually had, I think, 300 extra pounds in terms of that roof, because the convertible top makes car heavier. It's got to be much more in terms of the frame, the structural integrity, and so on and so on. Still, the Z4 have shorter wheelbase. It has options for make the suspension and steering stiffer, and responsiveness is just so much better. Also, car is lighter. Because of that shorter wheelbase, we have advantage in terms of the centric forces. For example, 3 Series, if you're driving on a curve and that's pretty stiff one, and you're trying to get the turn like sharp, you're gonna feel that centric force that is pulling you outer or innerward. In terms of the seats, why they so important? Because the sports seats have that lumbar support, which is actually helps you a lot to stay in the seat and feel yourself much more comfortable. This car does not have the sports seats, and I highly would love to have the sports seat in this car. They looks better, that feels better, and overall the ride is more comfortable. Compare non-sport one, I thought that's gonna be worse, but the first time I sat in this car and I looked like, dang, the sports seats would be so much better. For right now, I don't care. They handle so well the curves and the twisties. Oh, that's not lumbar support, it's just the ribs right here. Even without the adjustment side holders in the seat, it handles so good. Because of you sitting on the rear wheels, pretty much on the rear wheel, and the front sticking out so much farther, that the center of gravity of this car is just, it's not perfect. It's just good to the point that you're really comfortable in terms of those twisties and sharp turns. That's why you wanted to drive this car fast on the twisties, on a track probably. I never tried the track in this car, and I would bet $100 that this car would be a lot of fun. Get into the road conditions. It's not bad because it's hardtop, but you know, you cannot compare it and expect in this car to be silent inside and type Mercedes S-Class. Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of this car, and you know what, I'll take it. I will trade this for the way this car looks, the way it handles, the way that red interior, the coral red interior looks. Yeah, that you know, if you don't have lady, you're gonna get one. Ha ha ha. I'm still single, god damn it. And like I said, it's not a lot of disadvantages in terms of this car. The N54, it's advantage and disadvantage. The interior peel and paint, it's whatever. We already knew that, and every single car have some sort of issues. And if you wanted to feel that luxury way of BMW, I guess you gotta compromise with something. The road noise and the suspension, I don't know, this is a huge advantage and a little bit of disadvantage. But beside that, it's perfect all around. The way it looks, the way it handles, the way it drives, it's just perfect. And you know what other cool thing or feature, I guess, of this car that is still magnet for the people looking into it? It's not ordinary car. It's pretty useless in terms of how utility it is, which is, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But it's just something that makes you more confident driving a more expensive car with that look. And I guess that's one of the points. This car still costs so much money compared to the other cars that was depreciated a lot. For me, it's not a problem. If that's a problem for you, I mean, that could be the point of just hold yourself tight and, you know, get something different. Might be Porsche or might be the Mazda. Can you believe that N54 can make such a sound? It's great. In terms of disadvantages, I think everything ends here, except the storage compartment, the luggage compartment. It's same small as the cockpit, but it's more than enough to fit two mid-sized traveling bags, even with the roof closed or actually open. On the other hand, you're not going to be able to get those bags out of the car if you have your roof retracted in the trunk. Besides that, we have huge amount of compartments or storage compartments inside of the interior. First one, it's an elbow rest glove box. It has a decent size. It has more than enough to store your coins or cup holders, two of them, which is never use them because they're kind of useless. I mean, whenever I had to. Then both of the doors have retractable storages, which is plenty of usage in terms of trash. That's what I'm using them for. An actual glove box itself. Middle console have the spot where is the iDrive supposed to, or the knob supposed to be. Then another small compartment, which is I usually store my phone there behind the gear lever. And the last one is on a dashboard. That's where usually iDrive would rest, and which is retractable with pop up. And also I wanted to mention that probably that's the one of not many BMWs that I would prefer the Android screen here, which is suits perfectly nice. It started raining. I was getting ready to record the last piece. And look at the speed, how fast that roof is closing. That is another huge advantage. After all, the body of the car is piece of art. You have hardtop convertible that suits this car so well that I don't even think that the real roof without being convertible would suit here even better. It just, every single piece about this car is pretty interesting and pretty unique. This car offers a lot, as double pipe exhaust, wider and bigger BMW grille, million of body lines that asking you to just follow them with an eye and hit the road and enjoy the ride. It's an old car, but people still turn their heads when you're passing by, and that's one of the beauties of this car. So don't stop yourself from buying BMW Z4 E89, since this will get you pure driving experience and smile in your face. Also, if you watch this video till the end, make sure to leave me feedback. What do you think about my first review, and to do or not to do? Anyway guys, I hope you did enjoy and liking this content so far, and if so, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, that hood is warm.